Just another lovely day, innit, Bartholomew? Said Montgomery. His friend nodded, taking a deep inhale, letting sharp air of winter fill his nostrils. Absolutely it is. Why, I couldn't have imagined a better day for hunting if I tried, Monty. A perfect day to track us some elk, wouldn't you agree? The other man nodded in agreement, pushing through the shrubbery. How's the old family doing? He asked, making small talk with his friend in a hushed voice. Oh, you know, the wife busy with keeping the house in order, and the kids up to their usual shenanigans. I have been thinking, perhaps I shall bring Joshua hunting with me next season, replied Bartholomew. Splendid idea, old chap. The lad is almost 13. It's about time he learned how his old pop contributes to the community. Monty laughed silently. However, I do find something rather odd. The traps we laid the other night are completely gone. And not to mention, there are no elk in sight. This is their usual resting spot. The bigger of two men crouched down, inspecting the ground. This something might have spooked them? Monty asked, taking a vantage point behind a tall tree. Not too far off, the sound of heavy boots thudding against the soil and the swearing could be heard. Two men, armed with rifles, walked around. They seemed to be arguing, trying to be quiet, but failing miserably. Now I told you, Billy, ain't no Bigfoot in these woods. The government lying to us, said the man with a red and white baseball hat. Shut your dang mouth, Earl. I know them hairy apes real. God damn, my old grandpappy said he done shot one back in 75, right in these woods here, argued the other man, tripping and almost falling as his foot got caught in a tree root. Tell you what, I'll do this round with you, then I'll hop back in my van and drive on home and you can freeze your ass out here for all I care, snapped Earl. Bartholomew and Monty shared a look of panic, whispering to one another. Blimey, it's the humans, whispered Monty from behind the tree. We need to get out of here. Agreed. On the double, mind you. If they catch us, they'll make us pay taxes, Barthy replied. The two hairy men began sneaking off, Montgomery making it a nice distance away, as he was moving from tree to tree, hiding behind them as best he could. Bartholomew, however, wasn't so lucky, as despite his fur blending in with the brown trees and ground, his sheer size made sneaking very hard to do. The sound of a shotgun slug being racked made him freeze dead in his track. Monty, ever the loyal friend, peered from further back, crossbow aimed at the two men with guns, ready to fire if need be. Hold it right there, monkey man, Billy hollered. Hands up where I can see 'em, or by Jesus Christ, I'll blow a hole in you the size of Arkansas. Bartholomew slowly lowered his crossbow to the ground before turning to face the man. I mean you no harm, my good man, I assure you. Well, I'll be a Bigfoot. I just knew Grandpappy weren't crazy. I just knew it. The man almost jumped with joy, shotgun still trained on the Sasquatch. I'm gonna take you home, man you on a wall or something. Ahem. Bartholomew cleared his throat to regain composure. I would very much appreciate if you do not bring that idea to fruition. Hold on a dang minute. How come you speak in English, and that fancy English to boot? The redneck scratched his head. You learn it from all them kids and campers you ate? Kids and campers? Oh, good heavens, no. I would never eat one of you humans. You're our hairless cousins from the evolutionary tree, the Bigfoot retorted, seeming offended by the accusation for a moment. So you ain't eating people. What you eating then? I see them crossbows, so I know you're hunting. Don't think I'm stupid, Sasquatch, Billy snarled. And don't think your friend is invisible either. I see him behind that tree, and let me tell you, my buddy Earl in them shrubs over there, he gonna drop him like a sack of potatoes if I so much as holler. All right, settle down, man. Let us all put our guns down and talk like civilized people, Bartholomew sighed, trying to disarm the situation. Billy squinted, eyeing the Bigfoot up and down for a moment. All right, but how can I know you won't attack me as soon as my back is turned? I would never, argued Barthy. I am an honourable hunter and a just man. I never go for something so underhanded and devious. All right, Yeti, you've convinced me. Tell your friend to get on out from behind them trees and we can chit-chat. Billy motioned for Earl to come out from behind the bushes and lower his gun, while simultaneously lowering his own. Bartholomew did the same. "Come out, Monty. These chaps mean us no harm." The four men shook hands to solidify their truce, before moving over to a large felled tree to sit down. Slowly their conversation went on until very late into the evening. As it got colder, they made a campfire, while the stories from both sides kept on. "So y'all telling me you living in these woods for hundreds of years?" asked Earl, rubbing his hands in front of the fire. "Quite so. We've been living in woods worldwide for thousands of years, actually," Monty replied. "So, since you speak in English, not eating people, hunting, how come you don't come out to live outside the woods?" The redneck with the trucker had asked further. "Well, you may find this a bit untasteful, but the truth of the matter is as follows. We lived alongside humans until they began creating more complex government systems and implementing taxes," explained Barthy. "We felt that living on Earth was our right and that we shouldn't have to pay for it. Not to the humans, not even to each other, really. So as time went on, the more taxes the humans introduced, the more we isolated ourselves from them. Eventually fading from history into myth and legend. Certain human agencies knew about us, but after millennia of hiding, we have mastered that craft, so they could not find us unless we allowed ourselves to be found," Monty chimed in. "Y'all hate the government? We hate the government too," Billy laughed, tapping Earl on the chest. "Guess you weren't lying about us being cousins, Sasquatch." "Actually, the term is Gigatopathesius, but you can just call me Barty for short, and this is my good, long-time friend Montgomery," the Bigfoot replied. "Monty for short," said the other, excessively hairy man. "Roger. I'm Billy, and this my brother-in-law Earl," replied the redneck, as they shook hands with Barthy and Monty again. "We also live off the radar, just not as well as y'all do," Earl said. Yes. The humans did forget about us until after World War II. Then the sightings and classified documents sort of started to occur," Montgomery explained. "Hold on now. You all fought in World War II?" Billy was wide-eyed. "We didn't, but our grandfathers did. That altercation was threatening the Sasquatch population worldwide, endangering the forest too. We had to offer our help as well, under terms that we be allowed to fall back into obscurity after all is said and done," Monty continued. "We formed the BB troops, short for Bigfoot Brigade. Originally we wanted to go with the SS or Sasquatch Squad, but the Germans beat us to it," added Bartholomew. "Well, I'll be," Earl huffed, the surprise in his face evident. "Tell you what, it's getting cold and getting late. How about you come down to the hunting cabin with us and try out some of Earl's famous moonshine?" Billy asked. The two Sasquatch got up, stretching and putting the fire out. "We'd be delighted to. We do like to partake in liquor every now and then." The smaller one nudged the bigger one. "Great, come on now. Hope you can handle strong booze, though," said Earl, clapping his hands, and the four men headed towards the cabin that the two rednecks had illegally parked in front of and simply decided to use as their own for the time being. "Oh, don't worry. With our size, I am sure we will not have such a hard time," Monty laughed. Later that night, the two Sasquatch learned they, in fact, could not handle moonshine, and wound up hammered.